Hello everybody, welcome to the video. My name is Jordan. I like to do photography, videography, and I'm also a bit of a hype beast, so I like wearing expensive shoes and clothes that I probably shouldn't be spending that much money on. So, in my previous video I spoke about the fact that I brought, instead of a MacBook Pro, I picked up a 12.9 inch 256GB iPad Pro, and in it I basically said that this is going to be my new portable workstation, and I'm going to talk about what I think about this device as like my primary workflow after having it for about 2 or 3 weeks. So without further ado, let's get into the video. Now, we aren't actually into the video yet, but before we carry on, if you enjoy this video, make sure you hit subscribe. I really appreciate it. I'm going to be doing a lot more videos discussing like my workflow, tutorials, and all that good stuff. So if you guys enjoy it, feel free to leave a like, hit subscribe. It's completely optional, you don't have to, but if you do like my videos, then it doesn't hurt to subscribe. So back to the main part of the video where we're actually talking about the stuff you clicked on it for. Yeah, okay. So to make it easier for you all, I'm going to split this video into like 3 sections. It's going to be photography, videography, and general use. That's going to make it easier for me to discuss the certain parts of each section, and obviously it's going to make it easier for you guys to understand, because those are the 3 things that I mainly use my iPad Pro for. So the first thing we're going to talk about is photography and exactly what it is that I like about this device. The port on the bottom of this is a USB-C. I got a USB-C adapter on my camera lead. I didn't even get like a SD card reader, but it's super easy to kind of transfer images over. It takes like pretty much the same amount of time that it does on like a desktop PC. Literally plug it straight in, transfer all the raw files over, and because of the file system on the iPad Pro, it's made it super easy. So far I haven't had too many issues. One thing I will say is that the file system, the file manager on the iPad Pro at the moment is incredibly buggy. Received an update like 2 days ago that I did, and it has broke too many things on the iPad, but I'm not stressing too much because it will be fixed eventually. It's still a beta. I just have issues transferring stuff off the iPad onto a backup drive, but messing with the files, organizing them is super easy. You can literally make folders, drag and drop, rename them, add tags to them. So the first thing before we've even started editing is pretty simple. And the photo editor of choice that I use on this is Lightroom. Lightroom is like the main thing I use on a desktop PC and the iPad itself. It's great. It is Lightroom CC, so it's not technically Lightroom Classic, and it does have a few limitations that I've found that make it a little bit more difficult to kind of work with. One of the main issues that I've had is when I'm organizing and rendering is that there's not that many options for like the quality, especially when you go to render photos out on this. It says like small or max. And also, a weird thing I've noticed, test this out if you are actually using Lightroom CC or like the mobile version of Lightroom. They have a highest available, and then they have small quality when you render a photo. For some reason, even though the small one should be less quality and it's a lower file size, it is infinitely higher quality than the maximum available. Can someone tell me how that works? Can someone tell me? It's a good job I figured it out now before I had to do like a paid job where I send them like super blurry JPEGs. The editing is great. It's super intuitive. Using the Apple Pencil, it is super easy to just draw and edit little things. It's super easy. I love it. I love it. One thing I do like to do is edit photos if I'm out at a coffee shop or if I'm traveling. That is the main reason why I brought this, and it makes it so easy. I carry around with me a lacy hard drive, a rugged hard drive, and I just back everything up into there. I absolutely love it for photo editing, and I don't think there's anything else really I can say about the photo editing. Instead of Photoshop, I use Affinity Photo just because Photoshop isn't out on the iPad Pro yet, which is really frustrating, and I wish they would fix, but they don't want to apparently. So bring Photoshop out for the iPad, please. Then we're going to get on to the next section, which I'm going to talk about, which is video making, because I like doing video making and all that good stuff. So let's get on to it. So to edit my videos, the ones that you watch right now and the previous video you watched, I use a program called LumaFusion, mainly because they don't have like Final Cut, they don't have Premiere Pro or DaVinci out on the iPad Pro just yet. So overall, it is pretty simple. It's a new software for me, so it's kind of having a bit of time to kind of get used to it. I mainly edit on DaVinci Resolve on a desktop PC. Hopefully this video is edited okay. I'd like to think that it is coming out decent. Portable video editing device, I've got no issues with it at all. It's super easy to drag and drop with the new multitasking feature. Add files into the video editing. It's super easy to color correct in there. It's super easy to kind of slow stuff down and all that good stuff. It's super easy, and I think definitely if you're like a YouTuber or you're someone who does like not the highest end professional like video work, but you do a lot of the techniques, I think the iPad Pro is actually like perfect for it. I use the Apple Pencil, and scrubbing on the timeline is like literally so good. I absolutely love it. It's performing amazingly. I'm just still getting used to the software. So far, I have no issue other than the fact that it's got no headphone jack, so I've got to drop a little bit more money and get some wireless headphones. But monitoring audio and all that good stuff on there is absolutely perfect. And the final section we're going to get onto is the general use and how I'm finding the iPad in general. I recognise that with the iPad Pro, it's not just for videographers, for photographers, it's also for illustrators, it's also for people who just want a cool device for watching all of your media stuff of that. I think mainly the issues that I'm having with the iPad Pro at the moment are coming from beta software, and I think especially if you're watching this you might be like, oh, I don't know yet, but you have to think about it that the beta software is only beta for a specific amount of time, and you should expect bugs. You shouldn't expect it to run flawlessly. Hopefully when the further software updates come out, it will fix a lot of the issues that we have. So only time will tell, but as a early adopter, I could say, of iPad OS, I have loved it. It is super simple. It is so nice to use and just have. For general use, I find that web browsing is amazing. One thing that they've actually done now is put desktop class browsing in the iPad, so when you go to a website on Safari, it doesn't load up the mobile site, it loads up the full desktop one. That little change is amazing, and I absolutely love it because mobile versions of websites are freaking annoying, and if I'm buying something like this that pretty much has the screen size of a computer, I want to look at the computer site. So big thumbs up to Apple for that. The multitasking is amazing, the gestures are super easy. The screen, which is like super fluid, I don't know what hertz it is, I want to say like 120 or 90. Don't jump on me in the comments, I don't know all the specifics, but you definitely notice how smooth the screen is, to the point where when I first got this iPad, my eyes took a while to adjust. They would hurt as I'm watching it, and it was just like, oh, my eyes. It's so smooth, and watching videos on it is, oh, so crispy, so crispy. The apps are like the same as any other iPad if you've ever had an iPad. The screen is incredible. In terms of the size, I personally have had no issues. I've heard a lot of YouTubers say that they bought the 11-inch and they didn't regret it and they loved it. I personally would never go to the 11-inch. I think if you want the bigger screen, which is, it is a big difference after holding the two, I feel like you just have to go for the 12.9. The 12.9 is an incredible size. It is absolutely huge, but it's also not too heavy. It's easy to carry around. I literally put it in a laptop sleeve, like the laptop compartment of my bag, and it fits absolutely perfect. I think companies just need to jump on the iPad and trust it in it. I think Adobe needs to release more products and flesh out Adobe CC a little bit more. Not CC. Yes, CC. Yes, CC. I think that like other people are going to slowly work their way over to this device, and it's going to be great. So guys, that was me just rambling for a while. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I personally recommend this iPad to anyone. It is expensive for what you think it is, but if you imagine it as a computer, it's a very good price and it's super convenient. But this video is going to take a little bit longer than the last one to edit, but we're gonna see how well it ends up. Hit that like button, hit subscribe, and also feel free to check out my other videos. You know, it's one of those, if you like the videos then you might want to subscribe as well, share it, do all that lovely stuff, and I really appreciate all the support I've had over the last from the last video. It's been great. So without further ado, I'll see you guys later. Hopefully you guys having a good day and everything, and I'll see you later.